Judges, are you ready? Gentlemen, go ahead. Cody, please start the clock.
In this day and age, what are the two most important things that we need to grow and flourish as a community, as a world? I believe these two things are clean water and clean energy. Clean water for drinking, for growing crops, for animals and livestock. And then there's energy, electric power generation. And there's several ways to generate energy, but most traditional methods are harmful to the environment. Dams require flooding, impede water flow, and have massive fish kill from turbines. Nuclear, coal, natural gas, fossil fuels, all these are polluting the environment. What if there was a cleaner, safer, affordable, reliable solution to all these problems? My name is Kraig, Blatchley, inventor of the H2O upflow generator. I've been working on this invention since a life-changing dream in 2000. It's a way to generate clean, renewable electric power that lifts water without the use of electric pumps. It's simple, rocky design, like a seesaw, uses the weight of the water to generate mechanical energy.
Water from a gravity-fed pipe fills two containers on a pivoting pipe. You can see it over there in the picture. When the containers are empty, they lay horizontal. One tank is larger than the other, so as the unit fills with water, it becomes unbalanced and pivots. There's a magnet that holds the larger side up, so as it fills, the magnet will hold the heavier side up until it can't hold it anymore. It'll release it, which will spin a gear on the pivot point, which will generate mechanical energy. At this point, one container will be lifted higher. It will dump its water to the unit above it, and at the same time, the other unit will drop down and dump its water into the unit below it. So as you stack the units, they fill each other, and the water is reused. So when you have 100 or 1,000 of these units, the water is reused and requires very little water to maintain the system.
After my dream in 2000, I began drawing blueprints. I sent them off to a nuclear engineer. He said, "This is incredible. Find a patent attorney and engineer and build this." I then contacted the governor's office, who got me in touch with the Small Business Development Center, who then got me in touch with the UFC, who helped kickstart things. I had to prove my theory, so I went to a company in Virginia who wanted $100,000 to build the first unit. So I came back looking for investors. But in the meantime, as a builder and specialty contractor, I built my own unit for $1,000. Hooked up the garden hose to it, and it worked great. I then met engineer Daniel Brock, who helped design and build a full-size testing unit. We completed the build in approximately 6 months at a cost of $15,000. This technology is completely compatible with the current grid and will bring jobs and revenue locally and worldwide.
This technology is truly amazing. It can be scaled to any size to power any size generator. We are currently focusing on electric power generation, but there's many other applications.
Listen. All right. I'm not going to ask Cody to reset the clock. Judges, you're going to have 3 minutes time for a question and answer session. Gentlemen, I'm going to give you the microphone back too, so you don't have to yell. All right. Judges, are you ready? Gentlemen, are you ready? Go ahead.
So I'll kick this off by saying that I read through your material, and when it came to competition, you said there isn't any. This is really unique, but what would be the competition for your product?
Coal, nuclear, coal, natural gas, fossil fuels, any of the electric power generation devices out there today. This would compete with those.
Just as a follow-up, with the price of oil coming down so dramatically, does that price you out from the market?
Well, nuclear power, a rod, they have like 20 rods per nuclear power plant. They're replaced every 18 months and cost $40 million. And the waste is actually, the federal government just shipped a couple hundred tons to South Carolina, and they're burying it in the ground, and it's radioactive for about 1 billion years.
The nuclear plant costs around $10 billion to build, and then has all the negative impacts on the environment.
Water is free, even though oil is cheap.
Yeah,
So the concept sounds really exciting, using water. How much energy comes, I mean, have you done the calculations where you figure out if you develop something, what the future impact and usage of it could be?
Yeah, so we compared, our first comparison we did to about a $9 million nuclear power plant. For $9 billion, we can build easily 900,000 of our units, which would generate about 450 megawatts, which is close to a small nuclear power plant. But our overhead is almost nothing. We're going to take water from the river, use it, and put it right back in the same way we found it. No nuclear waste, no oil, no fossil fuels at all.
Does it change any molecules or anything in the water after you've used it?
no, the water's not polluted at all. All we're using the water for is the weight of it to generate the mechanical energy. It's very safe. We recently received our patent in December 15th, 2015, just a few months ago, and have an application with the Department of Energy, grant application submitted with them.
How do you plan to spend the $3.6 million?
We plan on building a pilot plant in Ridgeland, South Carolina to demonstrate and show the technology. So investors or any country who would be interested in looking at the technology could come there and see how the invention works. And if they're interested, we could go to wherever location to build one.
One more round of applause.